obviously, I mean, from this fight, Devant has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Especially the UCC title.
Yep. Here we go, the two welterweights. Very active there, trying to find his distance. He has got a Thai background, Devant, as well. So.
Yep. And he looked good in his last fight in Blackpool. Good stand-up and good ground and pound. So, at the moment, both feeling each other out. Leigh Cahoon's got a slight height advantage.
Just slight, and in a powerhouse that is Devant is there. Very explosive, very quick. Being very tentative right now.
Yeah, both sort of fainting. Both looking like they're going to throw something, neither throwing in. Oh,
nice leg kick.
Stomp to the leg.
It's like the teep to the leg. I love it because the thing is with the teep to the leg as well, it makes people think twice about stepping in.
Yeah, certainly. And that's a nice quick inside lead kick as well.
He's back. I don't like the way he's backing straight up into the cage.
No, you can do that against ropes in a ring, but you can't really do it the same in a cage.
So with the ropes, you can bounce off and come back with something, and you know, they're a lot more forgiving than fence.
And both these guys look like fighters. You know, you bump into them on the street, you could probably tell what they do for a job.
I think Cahoon felt that leg kick there.
It did, and you know, you can't take too many of those. They start to slow down your shoot, they start to slow down your striking because you can't put the weight onto that front leg.
Very difficult even to close your guard with a leg that's been kicked so many times there. He went for just cut under and caught the calf there.
I like the way he's picking from the outside here, Devant. He's not rushed in last time. I think he felt he rushed in too quickly and made a mistake in the last fight. He's taking this one very carefully.
I think he felt like he could just overpower him, you know, because to look at them aesthetically, you know, Devant looks a lot bigger, a lot more powerful, so I think he thought he could have overpowered him.
Yeah, but I think, he's deceptively strong, Leigh Cahoon. Devant taking the centre of the ring now, the centre of the cage.
I don't think Leigh Cahoon should stand with him, not in that Thai sort of way, you know. That's a wrong thing to do against a guy who's more than happy to throw leg kicks. He's not scared of that shin-to-shin contact. He's just going to throw them all day long. And there he rushes in for the punches. Nice head movement from Devant.
Yeah, I think Leigh would be better trying to take it into a more of a boxing range rather than a Thai kicking range. So at the moment he's losing the Thai kicking range.
And that front leg's starting to stiffen up as well, starting to straighten out. So he's looking a little nervous here. He's a little flustered here, Cahoon. Like he doesn't really know how to close that distance without getting hit, without getting clipped with that leg kick.
Devant picking off from the inside.
This has got to give Devant a lot of confidence here.
Yeah, and it will be growing in confidence as he goes.
I see he tries that.
Yep.
That front sweep again to the leg.
That is another underused move, I think.
The front seat. It's a brilliant move. I love to use it. That and a jab.
Now that was a sharp left hook from Leigh Cahoon. Fell short, but you can see the boxing technique of Leigh Cahoon. So Andrew Devant's still got to be very careful.
Head movement from Devant.
So again, we've got five-minute rounds here. We're in the first round.
He shouldn't. The thing is, what I don't like is Leigh Cahoon's tapping that front foot like a Thai boxer. Now the thing is with a Thai boxer like Devant is he can time that, and just as he lifts that foot, he'll cut under it and take his supporting leg out.
Leigh Cahoon again looking for that big left hook. Fell short, but you've got to think Devant needs to be careful with that right hand. He needs to keep the right hand high.
He's chasing him down now. He wants to shut that distance down. He doesn't like those kicks. I'm giving this round to Devant.
Oh, certainly. I think he let Cahoon stalk him, picking him off, and now he's controlling the centre of the cage.
I think his confidence is growing a little bit.
Yeah, I think his confidence is growing, and because he's working the strikes, he's now got the centre of the cage. He's now circling around, chasing Cahoon, and firing in the shots.
You can't get overconfident with those shots.
Leigh Cahoon is not the champion for no reason. He's very good. So
you make a very, very valid point there, Ian.
You know, you've always got to respect the champion. They're there for a reason. Cahoon really looking for that lead left hook. He's trying to mount an attack of his own now, try and get the momentum back away from Andrew Devant.
think Leigh's trying to tie box with him a bit too much, which is wrong. I think he should. The last time he won it on the ground, and he was kind of almost out scrambling him. So I think that's maybe his best choice. Just about to go into the second round now, going to the respective corners.
Certainly, well,
with Leigh jumping behind the hallways.
Safest place in the cage, right behind the ref. So for me, that's a round to Andrew Devant.
Yeah.
I think it's one up.
I think it definitely is. I think his confidence is growing as every time they trade shots. Every time he lands a kick, I think his confidence grows.
Yeah, I think so. It was moving well. He started off, as I say, going around the outside, picking off the inside low kick, the teep to the front leg. Then he just started to gain control, and really for me won that round. Now I think Alan Williams, I think in that corner, will be saying to him, you need to close the distance to get the takedown. You know, he showed in the last fight that the groundwork was probably where he was stronger.
Yeah, he's he looks smaller, you know, he's a little bit more agile, I think, but he's explosive. Devant's very explosive, so there's nothing to say that he's not going to sprawl on him.
Yeah. So let's see how the game plan changes now going into the second round.
This is a 5-round fight as well for the another title. And then after this one, we've got Murat Polak.
Okay, round 2 of the UCC welterweight title fight.
Again, I really not a fan of how Leigh Cahoon is kind of trying to use that Thai boxing style against Devant, especially when Devant's out kicking him and out pointing him. This is what he needs to do. He needs to use that jab and get inside and maybe look to clinch. Yeah,
definitely use the boxing.
Those elbows are slightly flaring as well. You can catch a body kick there.
Now they've obviously told Leigh Cahoon, you need to take control of this, stamp your authority on the fight, because at the moment it was getting picked off.
That's a nice right hand. Just clipped him there. That was a little risky there by Devant.
Yeah.
Devant, I don't know, there's something about when every time he gets clipped by Cahoon, because I know Cahoon's a big puncher, he looks a little glove shy.
Yeah. Cahoon, the one thing Cahoon does, once he catches one, he does throw about 4 more afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think Devant's sort of a bit like taken aback by just the amount of shots that have been thrown, the volume of shots. Because Devant, although picking him off in the first round, he was doing it with single shots.
Yeah.
The difference with Cahoon is Cahoon's throwing combinations.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's scoring a lot with these low kicks, and he's going to feel those tomorrow.
I think he'll feel them as the fight goes later on, a 5-round fight. If this fight goes to the 4th, 5th round, you'll start to feel those low kicks.
He's backing out with his head straight up in the air. He needs to come down with his chin down. He was ready for that then. I think Devant threatened to shoot, and then he kind of went to throw the knee. So I think they've been preparing for that as well, trying to time that shot.
I think there might be a stop to the fight, maybe. There's a fight out in the audience.
This is a shame, this UK MMA. I mean, people should know better. I mean, in support of their friends and stuff, they should be kind of trying to gain a little bit of respect here.
So the doorman going to deal with it at the moment. So Andrew Devant still working the same Thai box style. Cahoon starting to throw more combination with the punches. This is what I was saying I think he needed to do.
Yep.
Devant,
that straight right hand's going to be the money shot, I think.
Yeah, followed by the left hook. I mean, Cahoon loves that left hook. He's got a good left hook, but he's been landing it, not landing it, he's been throwing it slightly short. Now, if he can land the right hand and throw the left hook after it, that's where he's going to start to get some success, I think. But those low kicks from Andrew Devant are awesome.
Absolutely.
Inside and outside low kicks, doing the damage.
Obliterating him with low kicks. I think the thing is as well is, because of it, you can almost see it, every time he tries to throw a punch, Devant kind of stretches out his arms as if to kind of stiff arm him away, and that's very dangerous, especially with the left hook.
Spinning back kick
straight over the top.
Just lands short there.
Trying that spinning back fist.
Yeah, both these guys so dangerous from inside. You know, both of them got heavy shots, both of them throwing wild techniques. Spinning back fists, punches. Cahoon looks to be growing in confidence now.
I think as the fight kind of goes on, he's thinking, you know, apart from those low kicks, Devant's not actually clipping him with anything to the head, so there's not that much of a risk of getting knocked out. But I mean, he has said in previous interviews, Devant, as well, that he wants the KO win. He wants a decisive win. Right.
Well, he's definitely. What you can say from Devant is he's showing better kicking than he is boxing, and Cahoon's showing better boxing than he is kicking. So if they both need to sort of keep it in their range at the moment.
Nice.
Difficult score this round.
Definitely.
I think Cahoon's definitely been getting more success than he did in the first. But Devant's still chopping away with those inside and outside leg kicks.
I think with his spinning back fists and his spinning back kicks off the counters, I think it's more because, you know, they're very aware of the other person rushing them.
Yeah.
So they want to kind of keep that, they want to stay like that happy medium where Cahoon can punch and Devant can land kicks, you know. So you see that outstretched hand? That left hook can come straight over that.
It can, but Devant's now throwing the left hook of his own. I think Devant's decided he needs to start doing some damage with the punches as well. And that's what I'd like to see, to be honest. You know, mix up those low kicks with the left hook to the head.
Leigh Cahoon's going to be eating those ibuprofen-like sweets for the next couple of days because of that leg.
That leg is going to be swollen.
So, nice second round. While the security attend to the riff-raff. Who would you give that round to? Even round?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't like to score even rounds, and I've done one earlier tonight, but again, I think that was another even round. Cahoon getting a bit of the boxing, but Devant picking off the tie kicks, the tie leg kicks. Both of them showing danger with shots, but not quite landing. I just think that was a very even round.
I mean, we can visually see here as well his corner, Devant's corner, telling him to throw that low kick, telling him to throw that the inside and the right, the inside and the outside low kick. Yeah. I think if it's working, then keep at it, because at the moment Leigh Cahoon doesn't seem to have a defense for it except use his boxing. And it's
what I'm waiting for is, you know, I'm thinking one of the corners is going to say, let's switch this up totally and take it to the floor, you know.
I think Devant's explosive enough to take advantage and to use that to try and take somebody down. But
now, Devant fought the fight in Blackpool, his last fight. That was against a guy who represented England at boxing. And what Devant did was took the fight to the floor with a good shoot and won with ground and pound by putting a guy on his back. You've got to think, could he do the same thing here to Leigh Cahoon?
Well, judging from the last fight, I mean, I think it's the reason why he's not tried to take him down is because Leigh, you know, kind of neutralised his ground game and neutralised his shot. So I think that's why he's not been as desperate for the shot. I mean, it doesn't give you that much confidence when in your last fight you got subbed out, you know, you got tapped out. You wouldn't want that to happen again. So, I mean, where his strengths are, he's had I think 6 Muay Thai fights.
Yeah.
And he shows it. He's chopping down that leg. And
yeah, you can see. I mean, he's got very good leg kicks.
When he's throwing that left hook, he's moving away and he's moving into the left as he throws that left hook. So he's losing a lot of power in that as well.
Nice. Another solid leg kick. Now you've got to think, how are the judges scoring the fact that when Leigh does throw the shots, Andrew's going backwards like that, you know, he's going back against the cage. It does look like he's being knocked backwards, but nothing's really landing, you know. He's going backwards into the fence, but will the judges be scoring the fact that Leigh is making him go backwards?
I mean, it shows aggressiveness certainly, but I mean, it's defensive as well. I mean, the first thing, I mean, a lot of fighters they do it, especially in kind of the early professional fights or the semi-pro fights where, you know, the head movement and the circling off isn't quite there. So
he's showing better jabs now. He did 2 good jabs earlier. Now he's throwing the double jab again.
He's using that,
and he does it when he backs off. He's not really getting caught with anything.
He's just kind of rushing straight back, and he's using that kind of that old school kind of boxing defense where the left arm's down to bait the other person to come through, so we can hit him with that right hand or that low kick.
Yeah, exactly.
But with a lead left hand like Cahoon, you don't want to use that defense.
I don't think we've really seen one substantial headshot yet. You know, we've seen a lot of good chopping leg kicks from Andrew Devant. Leigh Cahoon's not really landed anything solid at all.
The thing is as well, Cahoon's keeping them away every time. Every now and again he's successful, that rear leg. So it's... See, that wasn't actually a shot that knocked him over. That was kind of more of a trip on Devant's behalf.
So we've had 2 rounds. Andrew Devant, we think, won the first. Second round even. This is another even round. Now, when you're looking at shots scored, there's not many landed. This is where you start to look at cage control. And for me, Leigh Cahoon has dominated the centre of the cage during this fight. Andrew Devant going backwards, it's going to score against him, because the only criteria you can really score on is the cage control.
Yeah. I mean, in the second round, I think he had it. Or was it the first where he was held the centre of the cage and he was stalking him down? But that was the only cage control that we really saw from Devant. I mean, like now he's holding the centre, but then there's like a battle of wits to kind of see who wants to stay there. Like Leigh Cahoon's in there now, and he's
and Devant's one backing off to the cage. So I mean, this could be evening up the fight now, a round each and a round even.
Leigh Cahoon, every time he throws that left jab, his right hand drops shot slightly, so he's open for that left hand off Devant. There's a bit of hostility in Devant's corner because there's a lot of fans.
Now, there was a couple of shots landed from Cahoon.
There's a lot of Cahoon's followers in Devant's corner.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a mix, actually.
That was a big right, that was an ambitious right hand. It is a bit of a stalemate on the feet. I think you are right. I would like to see Devant try and take it to the floor now, because out of the wrestling, I think Devant looks like he can, you know, and he's shown like he can scramble and he can wrestle.
Yeah, and I think as that leg kick start to take their effect on Cahoon later on in the fight, he could get a takedown fairly, you know, without as much of a defence.
So he's not... The shots that he's throwing as he's coming forward, those left and right hooks and right straights, you know, he's trying to clip him on the way in rather than, you know, trying to solidly knock him out. I think he's...
Both guys falling short with the punches.
I think they're looking for big hits, aren't they? Now we're going into... last 10 seconds there in this...
Okay, so
interesting round.
This is a very, very even fight. Very difficult to pick a winner. Devant throwing less of the leg kicks in that round that have been scoring him.
I think that's because Cahoon's closing the distance on him with the boxing. He's not finding that range. And I think that's where I mean, if he wants to stay in that kicking range, he wants to use that teep on that leg as well to keep him away.
I think he did good. He's got 2 rounds left. 2 more rounds.
He's doing well. He's taking on some more. He looks quite fresh. Cahoon on the other hand, you know, looks a little bit more tired. Doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I discussed with Andrew Devant his preparation, his training, and he's been doing a lot of fitness, cardio, you know, strength and conditioning. He's taking the right vitamins and stuff. He's really taking his training, his nutrition and stuff seriously. And you can see it there. I mean, he looks fit for another 5-10 rounds.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, like we said before, he is explosive. We've not had a chance to see that yet because I think right now they're both tentative still coming into this 4th round. They're both still tentative on the feet. But if Devant wants to keep it at kicking range, he needs to use that front seat to the leg. You know, keep him away, make him think about coming in. Because you won't want to stay in there and take those heel kicks. Pretty much heel stomps to those thighs.
So I think one of these guys now needs to really stamp their authority, try to, you know, dominate the stand-up, land some strikes, maybe take one to land 3. You know, nothing's really been landing substantially, so one of them needs to switch up and try to just get in there and get something done.
I think Cahoon's definitely got the heavier hands, and with Devant, as he's just shown there, he's throwing that kind of that lead left hook, but it's kind of arm punch, and he's just using it to gauge distance more than anything else.
Yeah,
like
Devant certainly has the better kicking.
Yeah. Cahoon, if you watch his left hook, he sits into it. You know, when his hips turn as he throws that left hook, whereas Devant's is more of an arm punch. See that?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it earlier. As I said, I thought that was a danger shot. When I was watching Cahoon, he was throwing it a bit short. You know, it wasn't landing in distance, but you could see the danger. Yeah. You could see what a good shot it was. I do think Cahoon's left hook, you know, Devant needs to keep that right hand tight.
That was a nice shot there.
Again, it didn't seem to really land cleanly.
I think Cahoon's showing more aggression in this round than Devant is.
This is what one of them needs to do, is try to just step the pace up.
Going back to that leg kick. Devant needs to use that stiff jab. Cahoon needs to use that right hand. He's going back to that leg kick and he's checked it. I think they're both going to need ibuprofen after this fight.
Yeah, certainly. It might also give the judges a little bit of a headache because it's very close, you know. It's going to be tough to score. A lot of feinting, a lot of shots being thrown, all slightly out of distance.
Just slightly out, aren't they? I mean,
both now starting to step in with the shots. I think both realise they need to do something.
I think
two big jabs landed by Devant, and you can see the blood spread around the nose.
I think this is where the male kind of dominant kind of the monkey gene
big right hand.
People want to, you know, I want to win this fight. You know, get to the top of the tree, and it's getting to those rounds where they have to finish.
Yeah, Devant landed a big right hand there.
Nice rush, he's bull rushed in. Nice right uppercut there. I think it just clipped him, nothing much.
This is the first time anyone's really sort of landed anything substantial to the head. But there, Cahoon comes back straight away, saying, I'm the champion, I'm staying in here.
If you were challenging for this belt and you were Devant, what would you do? Right. I mean, at this moment, I mean, he's obviously given up with the kick.
Two big shots there from Cahoon.
Straight back up to his feet.
Cahoon drops him with two shots. Now, this is where we're seeing the fight different. This is what I would do. I think Devant should try to get top position and start to ground and pound. This is what he needs to do. But Cahoon doing a good job of defending.
He's holding on to the legs now. I think what he's trying to do is just recover because those did rock him. He does seem very glove shy, doesn't he?
Yeah, and they see Alan Williams screaming to Cahoon to push the head down and get out.
He had the... Oh, nice shots there.
You see the blood there from Cahoon.
I think as we've seen there as well, as he had hold behind Cahoon's legs, he had an S-grip interlocking the fingers. He should have gone for a gable grip. It's more of a secure grip. He could take him down a little easier.
Yeah,
but it was more survival. It's just, you know...
Yeah, definitely. The gable grip, very strong. This is a big fourth round here for Leigh Cahoon. Just as someone needed to sort of stamp their authority. If I was Andrew Devant's corner now as he gets back to the corner, I'd be saying to him to shoot in, get top position and work some ground and pound, because it needs that. One of them needs to do something different.
I think right now they've gone into that mode where they think that they have to stand up. You know, this isn't a Thai boxing fight. And he just clipped him again.
Yeah, he clipped him.
But I think that was the back of the head shot, to be honest.
The shot did go in the back of the head.
So right now you would like to see it go to the ground. You would like to see Devant show something different and prove that it's tougher from top.
Yeah, I just think whichever fighter, I think both these fighters want it. Andrew Devant wants to get one back for the loss that he got. Leigh Cahoon wants to keep hold of this UCC belt. It means a lot to him to be the UCC champion. I think the corners need to be saying to him, switch up, do something different. I'd like to see one of these fighters come out, try and get a takedown in top position. You know, they're working on the stand-up. No one's really landed anything substantial. Till that round, you saw Cahoon, you know, landing some shots and getting the knockdown. I'd like to see them come out. I think if I was Andrew Devant's corner, I'd be saying to him, use that explosiveness. I've seen how good his shoots are, you know. Let's see if you can get that takedown, get some ground and pound, and win out the round, win out this fight on the ground.
The thing is, he's got some really good guys that he trains with as well over. I mean, he used to train over at Moss High Ground and Pound with Danny Rogerson and Ozzy Halleck. You know, he trains at Mr. M's Fight Factory. He's done Thai, so he has. You know, he's got some tough guys there in his corner. He's got some tough guys that he trains with. So that just needs to come out now. He needs to peak. This is the time where he needs to peak, and he needs to kind of show his dominance. Leigh Cahoon as a champion needs to show that as well.
That's it. You've got to look at Leigh Cahoon, Hyde MMA. They're, like we said earlier, they're on a winning streak.
Yep.
You know, they're on a roll. They've got some great sparring partners. A lot of guys the same weight. So both these guys have been putting in the time in the gym, the sparring in the gym. Like we said about the nutrition, the training. This just shows the level these guys are. The fact that they're at this 5th round, championship round, they've done 20 minutes of high-paced action and they're still fighting.
The thing is as well, is I've heard Alan Williams saying that none of his fighters are actually full-time fighters. They actually have a day job. So these guys are coming in and doing, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours a night, or even, he said as little as 1 hour a night training, you know, for fights and things like that. So to see that, the guy's holding a belt, he's fighting for Hyde MMA, you know, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff being spoke about on the internet, on the forums, like Avi Jack wants to fight Leigh Cahoon. How would you see that fight going between Avi Jack and Leigh Cahoon? Avi Jack being from Predators.
Yeah, I think Avi Jack's from Predators. He's got a good team behind him. They've got good ground game, good submission. I think he maybe needs a couple more fights before fighting these 5-minute rounds. That, in my personal opinion, I'm not saying I don't think he'd win now, but I do think he needs a couple more fights first.
I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, he's got a very dangerous choke game. His stand-ups, you know, he's got a very good stand-up. I mean, right now we're seeing a neutral fight here between both of these fighters. So
yeah, but there's still that danger all the time that one of them's going to get tagged. You know, we saw Devant get tagged in the last round.
I think with punches, definitely Cahoon will take him. I think he could win just by rushing. Cahoon could rush him now, throw straight shots and catch him going backwards.
It's a testament to the fitness of these two guys that they're still going here now after 5. They're in the 5th 5-minute round.
Yeah, he seems very close, shy, Devant, like tilting his head back when he comes in instead of angling off and chin down.
Do you know what? Coming from Muay Thai and boxing, I came from a boxing background. When you start using the little gloves, you can be a little bit like that because you can't take the shots on the gloves the same. So it changes your style very much. Whereas the guys who've come in who have just started out using MMA gloves, they already have that different style.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people work with the MMA gloves, you know, with the parries, with the crazy monkey guard, you know, with circling off. I mean, it still does work, and things like the Thai defense, like what Devant's doing when you stretch out the arms and kind of stiff arm and use the shoulder and the bicep to block the punch can be effective. But running back into the straight line with your chin up in the air is always bad news, I think.
Yes,
like we've just seen there with the right hand.
So.
I think that one made Cahoon take a big deep breath, that one there.
Yeah, it did. And you saw throwing in the left hook, landed there by Andrew Devant, and then he calls Cahoon on. This is such a close fight. It's going to be very, very hard to judge.
I mean, if it stays like this until the end of this round, I think Cahoon's still got the belt. I mean, he's, you know...
Yeah, I think he's just edged just from the ring control. Like I said, with not much getting landed, the ring control does come into effect, and Devant has been backing off to the fence. But I mean, both these guys have worked so hard.
Yeah. Especially, you know, you've got champions from a gym, and you've got some good fighters from a gym that's relatively new in comparison to other gyms, MMA gyms in Manchester and in the Northwest. I mean, compared to some other gyms, you know, such as Ground and Pound and Predators and SBG, etc., you know, they have, I mean, Hyde MMA apparently have been established for, what, 8 years? I think it was 8 years or so?
Yeah, I mean, I've trained with Alan Williams on the submission game. I taught a session there a good 4 or 5 years ago when he was still just in the corner of the kickboxing gym, you know, just had some mats out in the corner. So, I mean, that was a good, I can't remember how long ago, it was a good few years ago, 4 or 5 years maybe.
So they are relatively new in comparison to others that have been, you know, been around for a while, but
certainly
in comparison to the Manchester gyms.
But I mean, they've been up to Quantum when we had the cage and stuff up at Quantum at Diggle. You know, they brought the team to train up there before they had those facilities themselves. You know, they were definitely forward-thinking. Jim Allen Williams very good coach and knows the MMA game, knows what he wants out of it, and he gets the best out of his fighters.
As we can see here, Cahoon's still keeping Devant at bay.
Certainly, I mean, this is nearly the end of the fight. It's one of these fights where you don't really want to give it to either guy because they've just put so much in.
But I think, you know, it comes from that mentality as well. That rocked him again with that left hand, whether it was because he was backing off or not, we don't know. But to kind of beat the champion, you need to beat the champion, you know, and he's not beating Cahoon. He's nice. Yeah. He's finishing around very strongly.
That was a great fight. Awesome. Our 2 title fights have been 2 awesome fights. Let's hand it over to the officials. We'll find the belt.